I want you to take a moment to think about your worth, your value, the incredible strength you carry within you. Too often, we find ourselves undervaluing what we bring to the table and giving so much of ourselves to people who don't appreciate it. We give love, loyalty, care, and energy, but what happens when that is met with disregard or disrespect? Today, I'm here to remind you of a powerful truth. You are a queen, and no one should ever forget the weight of your presence in their life. When you leave a legacy. But here's the thing. Make them feel the pain of losing you, not out of vengeance or bitterness, but because your absence should echo louder than your presence ever could. You have a life, a destiny, a calling that no one should have the privilege of disrupting. If they can't recognize the treasure that you are, then they must experience the void of not having you there. So, ladies, today we are not talking about walking away in anger. We're talking about walking away in purpose. We're talking about making them regret ever taking you for granted. Are you ready to show them what they lost? Knowing your worth is the foundation of everything you do in life. It's the bedrock upon which you build your relationships, your career, and your sense of self. Far too often, we undervalue ourselves, thinking that our worth is determined by external factors, by how others treat us, by what we can offer, by how much we give. But the truth is, your worth is inherent. It's not defined by others. It's defined by you. When you know your worth, you will never allow anyone to treat you less than what you deserve. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that we must earn respect or love. We believe that if we give more, if we sacrifice more, if we go the extra mile for others, then they will see our value. And yes, there are times when genuine love and respect are reciprocated. But there are also times when people take us for granted. They may see our kindness as something that's always going to be available, something that they can rely on without ever having to put in the same effort. And that's where the problem lies. When you don't know your worth, you start accepting the bare minimum. You accept excuses. You accept poor treatment. You accept being left behind or overlooked. You tell yourself, it's okay. Maybe I'm just being too sensitive, or maybe I can give more to prove my love and loyalty. But what happens when you keep giving and all you receive in return is indifference or disrespect? What happens when your value isn't recognized and your efforts go unnoticed? This is where understanding your worth comes into play. Knowing your worth means acknowledging that you are a person of immense value, and anyone who comes into your life must honor that. It means understanding that your time, your love, and your energy are precious and not to be squandered. It means recognizing that you do not have to prove your worth to anyone. You are worthy by simply being who you are. When you begin to see yourself as valuable, you start to make decisions that align with that value. You stop tolerating bad behavior. You stop settling for less than what you deserve, and you stop allowing people to walk all over you. Instead, you set boundaries, you demand respect, and you prioritize yourself. The power of knowing your worth lies in how you navigate your relationship. People will treat you the way you allow them to treat you. If you allow someone to take you for granted, to treat you as an afterthought, to not appreciate your time, love, and effort, then that's how they will continue to treat you. But when you know your worth, you teach people how to treat you. You show them that your time is precious, that your love is not something to be played with, and that your energy is valuable. And when people understand that, they will start to treat you differently. But it all starts with you. When you know your worth, you also recognize that you don't need to stay in situations or relationships that do not honor or appreciate you. Sometimes we stay in toxic relationships because we believe we cannot do better or that we don't deserve better. We believe that we are somehow unworthy of healthy, loving, and fulfilling relationships. But that's a lie. The moment you realize your worth is the moment you realize that you deserve to be surrounded by people who elevate you, who respect you, and who value you for who you are. And when you know that, you stop settling for anything less. Knowing your worth doesn't mean you won't make mistakes or that you won't face challenges. It means that when you do make mistakes, you don't let them define you. You don't let them make you feel like you're not enough or like you failed. You understand that your worth is not based on your mistakes, but on who you are at your core. You recognize that you are worthy of love, respect, and happiness even when things aren't going perfectly. This self-awareness helps you bounce back from adversity stronger and more confident in your own value. As you begin to truly know your worth, you also begin to set higher standards for yourself. You stop accepting anything less than what you deserve because you recognize that you are worthy of the best. Whether it's in your personal relationships, your career, or how you treat yourself, knowing your worth helps you raise the bar for what you will tolerate and what you will strive for. You begin to pursue opportunities that align with your values and goals. And you stop wasting time on things that don't serve you. When you know your worth, you start to prioritize your happiness, your growth, and your well-being. But knowing your worth isn't just about how you allow others to treat you. It's also about how you treat yourself. It's about how you speak to yourself, how you care for yourself, and how you nurture your own growth. Self-worth isn't just an external concept. It starts from within. When you recognize your own value, you start to treat yourself with the same respect and kindness that you expect from others. You stop engaging in negative self-talk or doubting your abilities. You start taking care of your physical, emotional, and mental health. You start making choices that align with your values, and you prioritize your own happiness. And as you do that, you begin to attract people and opportunities that match the energy you put into yourself. Knowing your worth also means being willing to walk away from anything or anyone that doesn't recognize that worth. Too often, we stay in situations because we're afraid of being alone or because we fear that we won't find someone or something better. But when you know your worth, you understand that walking away is sometimes necessary for your own growth and happiness. It's not about giving up. It's about choosing yourself. When you walk away from a relationship or situation that doesn't honor you, you're making a statement that your peace, your happiness, and your well-being are more important than settling for less. It's a reminder that you are not afraid to stand up for yourself and that you know you deserve more. The moment you know your worth is the moment your life begins to change. You stop waiting for external validation to tell you that you are enough. You stop seeking approval from others because you've already given it to yourself. You stop trying to prove your value to anyone because you know deep down that you are more than enough just as you are. And when you live from this place of self-awareness, you attract the kind of love, respect, and opportunities that reflect your true value. It's time to stop dimming your light to make others comfortable. It's time to stop shrinking yourself to fit into spaces that don't appreciate your brilliance. Knowing your worth means standing tall, speaking your truth, and living unapologetically in your power. It means saying, I deserve the best, and I'm not willing to settle for less, and believing it wholeheartedly. When you know your worth, you make decisions with confidence, you trust your instincts, and you refuse to settle for anything less than the life you deserve. Creating emotional impact is not about playing games or manipulating others to get what you want. It's about understanding the power of your presence and recognizing that your absence will leave a void that nothing or no one else can fill. It's about acknowledging the emotional depth you bring into the lives of those around you and realizing that when you choose to walk away from a relationship, a situation, or a person who doesn't value you, the pain they feel isn't out of malice, but out of the realization that they have lost something truly irreplaceable. We often underestimate how much influence we have on the emotional landscape of others. We are social beings, and our actions, words, and energy have a ripple effect. Sometimes we give so much of ourselves, our time, our love, our effort, that the very fabric of someone else's life becomes entwined with ours. Whether it's a romantic partner, a friend, or even a colleague, we leave behind a piece of ourselves in everything we do. And in many cases, we don't realize just how significant that piece is until we are no longer there to offer it. This emotional impact is one of the most powerful tools we have, and it should never be taken lightly. When you understand the emotional impact you have on others, you begin to recognize how valuable your presence is. People come and go in life, but not everyone brings the same energy or contributes to the same level of emotional depth. There are those who are like the calm in a storm, offering peace and comfort. There are those who bring joy, laughter, and positivity. Then there are those who offer a sense of stability, trust, and loyalty. Each one of us brings something unique to the table, and that uniqueness is what creates lasting emotional bonds. But what happens when you are no longer there to provide that energy? What happens when you decide that enough is enough and walk away? The emotional void that your absence leaves is often underestimated. When you give so much of yourself to someone, you unknowingly become a vital part of their emotional ecosystem. It's easy to think that people can move on quickly, that life will continue without us, that someone else will come along and fill the space we left. But the reality is far different. People don't just forget the impact you've had on them. They may try to move on, but the hole left by your absence is real. Your laughter, your care, your energy, all of these things become a memory that they can't erase. And it is in that space where the pain of losing you begins to set in. The pain that people feel when they lose someone who has made a real emotional impact in their life is often deeper than they initially anticipate. It's easy to take someone for granted when they're always there, offering their support, love, and care. But when you step back and allow them to experience life without you, they start to realize just how much you filled up their world. The emotional impact you have is something that no one can replace, and the absence of it creates a sense of loss that is felt long after you've walked away. What makes this pain so profound is the realization that they have lost something that cannot be bought or replaced. It's the emotional bond you've built, the trust that you've nurtured, and the way you've made them feel seen, heard, and valued. Those things cannot be replicated by just anyone. Sure, they may find someone else who can offer similar traits or characteristics, but the connection you had with them was unique. And that's the impact that lingers. The feeling of losing something rare, something that cannot simply be replaced, creates a depth of pain that is hard to describe. It's a void that remains no matter how much time passes. For those who may have taken you for granted or undervalued your presence, the pain of losing you is often compounded by regret. Regret is a powerful emotion. It's that nagging feeling that lingers in the back of the mind when you realize that you didn't appreciate something or someone when you had the chance. It's the what if scenario that plays out repeatedly, reminding them of the missed opportunities, the words left unspoken, and the actions left undone. And while regret is a personal experience, it's often directly tied to the emotional impact someone had on their life. If your absence leaves them with that deep sense of regret, then you've already made your point. But this emotional impact isn't about seeking revenge or making others feel guilty. It's not about causing them pain out of spite. Rather, it's about allowing them to experience the consequences of not valuing you. It's about making them understand that your presence in their life was a gift, one that they failed to appreciate while they had it. This emotional impact is a natural byproduct of knowing your worth. When you walk away with confidence without looking back, you are giving them the opportunity to reflect on the emotional space you occupied and how they failed to nurture it. And while it's easy to focus on how others will feel when you leave, it's important to recognize that the emotional impact of your absence can also be a powerful tool for your own growth. By creating a void, you allow yourself the opportunity to grow and flourish outside of the relationship or situation. You allow yourself to step into new spaces that are aligned with your value, and you stop sacrificing your emotional well-being for someone else's comfort. Your absence forces both you and them to reevaluate the emotional dynamics that were in play. It allows you the space to rebuild and reestablish boundaries that protect your emotional health. And it challenges them to step up, reflect, and recognize what they've lost. This emotional impact doesn't have to come from a place of bitterness. It's not about holding grudges or dwelling on the past. It's about recognizing the power of your own energy, and when that energy is no longer being reciprocated or valued, choosing to walk away. You don't have to announce your departure with anger or resentment. Sometimes, the most powerful statement you can make is in your silence and your absence. People will feel it whether they want to admit it or not. The emotional impact of your departure is often stronger than any words you could say. It's a quiet reminder that what they had was special, and now it's gone. Walking away isn't easy, especially when you've invested time, love, and energy into something or someone. But when you understand the emotional impact you have, you also understand that your absence will force a reckoning. They will feel the void, and that void will make them realize that what they had with you was irreplaceable. This realization is not about manipulation or game playing. It's about acknowledging the weight of your presence and the power of your absence. And that emotional impact is a powerful reminder of the value you bring to the table, even after you're no longer there to offer it. Walking away with purpose is one of the most powerful acts of self-respect and self-preservation you can perform. It's easy to stay in situations or relationships out of fear or insecurity. We often convince ourselves that we can change things, that we can fix the dynamics, or that we can make things work if we just give a little more effort. But walking away with purpose is not about running away or abandoning responsibilities. It's about making a decision to prioritize yourself and your peace of mind when staying would cost you too much, emotionally, mentally, or spiritually. It is an act of strength, not weakness, and it shows that you have the courage to recognize when enough is enough. When you walk away with purpose, it's not about cutting ties recklessly or impulsively. It's about making a conscious decision to leave because staying no longer serves your growth, happiness, or well-being. We often romanticize the idea of fighting for a relationship, a situation, or a dream. But there is an equal power in recognizing when something is no longer aligned with your values, your goals, or your personal growth. Walking away with purpose means that you are not just moving away from something, but you are actively moving toward a life that is more in alignment with who you are, who you want to be, and what you want to experience. The decision to walk away is not always an easy one. It can come with a great deal of emotional turmoil, fear, and doubt. We've all been in situations where we've given so much of ourselves, and the idea of walking away feels like giving up on something we invested in. But walking away is not about quitting. It's about choosing yourself. It's about acknowledging that your emotional, mental, and physical health are too important to be sacrificed for the sake of someone or something that doesn't honor or appreciate you. It's about understanding that sometimes leaving is the best form of self-care. When you walk away with purpose, You don't allow guilt or shame to control your decision. It's easy to feel guilty for leaving a relationship or a situation that might have once been good, or for walking away from people who expect something from you. You may feel as if you owe them more or that they will be hurt by your absence. But in reality, staying out of guilt is a form of self-betrayal. It's telling yourself that your happiness, peace, and boundaries aren't as important as the needs of others. Walking away with purpose means you acknowledge that you have a right to protect your energy, and you refuse to compromise your well-being for the comfort of others. This purposeful departure is not about burning bridges or leaving with anger and resentment. When you walk away with purpose, you do so with grace. You don't have to make a spectacle or create unnecessary drama. You don't have to explain yourself repeatedly or try to justify your decision. Walking away with purpose means you understand that your decision speaks for itself. You don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing your peace. By walking away, you send a message that your value is not something you're willing to negotiate. It's not about playing games or proving a point. It's about honoring your own worth and your need for peace, respect, and reciprocity. In many cases, walking away can be the most powerful form of communication. When you are no longer willing to tolerate disrespect or toxicity, your absence can be louder than any words. It's a statement that you will no longer settle for less than what you deserve. It's an affirmation that you refuse to allow yourself to be a doormat, a backup option, or someone's emotional punching bag. Walking away with purpose creates a shift in the dynamics of the relationship or situation. It forces those who remain to reflect on their actions, their behavior, and their treatment of you. Your decision to walk away with purpose is an act of reclaiming your power, and it gives others the space to realize the consequences of their actions. Sometimes, walking away with purpose requires a level of faith. It requires trusting that even though the future may seem uncertain, leaving is the right decision for your growth and well-being. It means stepping into the unknown, letting go of what was familiar, and trusting that something better is waiting for you on the other side. The fear of the unknown can be paralyzing, but walking away with purpose demands courage. It demands that you trust yourself, trust your instincts, and believe in your ability to move forward without looking back. The beauty of walking away with purpose lies in the fact that it opens up new opportunity. When you let go of relationships, situations, or environments that no longer serve you, you create space for something greater to enter your life. You make room for new experiences, new people, and new opportunities that align with your values, your passions, and your future. By walking away, you stop holding on to the past and you begin to open the door to new beginnings. It's about leaving behind what weighs you down and making room for what will uplift you, energize you, and help you grow. Walking away with purpose is also an act of self-respect because it acknowledges that your time, your energy, and your emotions are valuable. When you stay in situations that drain you, that don't align with your values, or that fail to appreciate you, you are essentially saying that you are not worthy of the respect and care that you deserve. But by choosing to walk away, you show that you are no longer willing to accept anything less than what you know you deserve. It's a bold declaration that you are worth more, that you are enough, and that you are deserving of love, respect, and happiness. Another crucial aspect of walking away with purpose is that it teaches others how to treat you. People often underestimate the power of boundaries, and when you allow others to cross them without consequence, you teach them that it's acceptable to treat you poorly. But when you walk away with purpose, you are teaching others that your peace, your time, and your energy are not to be taken for granted. You show them that you will not stay in a situation that does not honor your worth. This act of walking away with purpose can be a transformative lesson for everyone involved. It encourages others to reflect on how they treat the people in their lives, and reminds them that everyone deserves respect and consideration. Choosing to walk away with purpose also means understanding that you don't need external validation to confirm your decision. There will always be people who criticize, question, or judge your choices, especially when it comes to leaving a situation or relationship. But walking away with purpose means recognizing that you are the only one who truly understands your needs, desires, and limitations. You are the one who must live with the consequences of your decisions, and ultimately, you are the one who has to answer to yourself. No one else can dictate your journey or tell you when it's time to leave. You have the power to make that decision, and walking away with purpose means trusting that you have the wisdom and the strength to know what's best for you. Ultimately, walking away with purpose is about reclaiming your life and your power. It's about making a conscious decision to choose yourself, to prioritize your happiness and peace, and to stop settling for anything less than you deserve. It's about leaving behind situations and people that drain you and creating space for new opportunities that uplift you. When you walk away with purpose, you not only take control of your life, but you also send a powerful message to the world that you are worthy of love, respect, and happiness on your terms.